Good morning, YouTube. So I had this bright idea that I needed to start drawing again. And the only times that I can really do it would be first thing in the morning. And so I wanted to start doing this live every morning. If you want to join me and we can just chat and talk about life or drawing or nothing. And come on over. I've got my coffee here. So I'm going to start drinking my coffee to wake up just a little bit. I'm totally not a coffee guru at all. I just like Maxwell House and International Delight Creamer. And I like mine really blonde. Basically a little bit of coffee with my creamer. So about a week ago, I made the horrible decision to leave a liquid laundry detergent dispenser on, and unfortunately it got all down through one of our cabinets and it ruined some of my artwork. But this is artwork that I really haven't worked on for a long time, and so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity just to start drawing again, and I really wanted to do so here we are. I wonder if you can do music on Facebook Live. I mean, YouTube Live. I'm gonna have to kind of look into that, see if we can listen to some music while we work. Surely there's a way to play some in the background. Maybe if it's just even me playing some in the background. This is harder than I thought. When I'm just sitting and drawing, it's, one thing, but to actually have to like draw kind of in front of people, thankfully. Maybe I shouldn't say thankfully there are no viewers, but as of right now, there are no viewers. But it's still, this is pressure. I thought this would be a good idea too, just to take a few minutes kind of out of the busy day and kind of wake up and be able to take a few minutes for myself and just kind of have sort of a quiet time in the middle of the busy schedule that I have. I never wake up and have coffee. I should way more often than I'm going to. And that makes me happy. Ooh, that is not how that goes. I am so out of practice. I don't mind doing this. Nope. Wow. You guys have any tips? And I'm trying to draw this. Okay, it comes out to about here. It's just the things you kind of forget how to do. Or maybe it wasn't that good in the first place. Probably not. That's okay. That is why I'm doing this. I come out quite that far. That's something. And really, to be able to join me in the mornings, I mean, you definitely do not have to be able to draw or want to draw. If there's anything, I mean, art-wise, painting, crocheting, if you just want to have coffee with us while we just kind of chit chat. I never used the word chit chat, but it just came out. Or, I mean, really anything. If you're into writing, whatever it is you like to do, this is just kind of our time to be able to sit quietly and do it together. I'll have some music up tomorrow. This is kind of going to be like a little bit of a learn as we go, what kind of works. What's needed, what's fun. Turn a little bit more light on. That helps. Trying to think of any funny stories, and suddenly I'm like, I'm not funny, I'm not funny. I can be. Sometimes. I think I can be, maybe not. I'm sure there are plenty of people who would see that I'm drawing a coffee mug and think how amateur, but goodness, it has been a long time since I've drawn anything. And I am completely amateur, even at those things that I have drawn. I'm not sure the best way to do this, if I need to do a new image every hour that we do this, or if I can just kind of continue on with the same one, just because hopefully you all will be kind of paying attention to what you're doing instead of what I'm doing. You're welcome to pay attention to what I'm doing, but And sometimes, I mean, it really does take longer than, oh, I should not have done that. It's now. But to draw, I mean, a real, for myself at least, and maybe I'm just crazy, but to draw a really good quality portrait, I mean, it can take me up to even like 40 hours or more. So that'll be something I kind of need to just figure out if it's best to go ahead and do something new every single time we meet, or if I can continue on the same portrait. I might just change it up every time. We'll just see. This book right here is just a charcoal sketchbook. What I actually like to draw in is Bristol vellum paper. So I've ordered that at Amazon and it should get here tomorrow. So I'm really excited about being able to draw that way. I tell you what, like having this pressure, potentially someone watching like at any moment, this ain't easy. I'm gonna pop in and be like, that girl can't draw, which I mean probably someone who's got any skill would probably think that no matter what, but never really, and I've got some right here, but I've never really used actual art pencils. And I'm sure in a lot of cases they would actually probably help me. But my favorite tool to use is just a mechanical pencil, just a big mechanical pencil. I've always just really liked being able to have that pinpoint, just that very, very sharp pinpoint edge, I guess you could call it, of the pencil, and not having to worry about sharpening it. I've always been able to like getting into grooves really, really well with a big mechanical pencil. I found that a lot of the times if I go different directions, that really kind of helps smooth things out as well, because when you almost start, they'll be kind of, I'll show you. Right now I'm going horizontally, and then I start right next to it and kind of go horizontally up. You'll kind of have that little bit of overlap where it's just not very smooth. You can kind of see some overlap. It's a little bit darker. It's just not very smooth. So then I go in and I'll go vertically for almost kind of a smooth shade crosshatch kind of idea. And it helps to blend out that area that was overlapped and darker, just to make things a little bit smoother. And you can also go kind of at an angle as well to do the same, get the same effect, smooth everything out. I like how I've got two coffee cups. They're identical. One has coffee in it, but I'm drawing the empty one. So yeah, that one doesn't quite make any sense, but it's what I'm doing, so I'm going with it. Just rolling. So we redid our kitchen about a year and a half ago, and we just kind of makeshift our kitchen cabinets. We found some on Craigslist and then some we had to just purchase from Menards in our area. And I really like our kitchen. Our kitchen is perfect for us. But over by my coffee bar, there's between the wall and the cabinet, probably about maybe 3 or 4 inches that there's just a gap between the cabinet and the wall. And I've never known what to do with that. I still have my morning voice. Never known what to do with that. A couple times I thought maybe I could put chairs, a fold-up chair in there or something, and nothing's quite ever worked. So then I had this idea to just draw with you guys live on YouTube, and my great big giant portfolio book that I have that I've not used in so many years. That's just kind of been under our bed collecting dust. I'm going to shorten this a little bit. Hopefully that'll kind of help that angle a little bit. Yeah, it does. That I've not used in years and years. Fits perfectly right there. So it was just one of those like providential, meant to be moments where I finally have a home for and something that I own. Do you guys get that way? It takes me so long to find that perfect home for things. I'd love to say that I'm a minimalist, and I'm totally not. If you look around my house, you would completely know, but I do like to get rid of things, which Marie Kondo totally talks about. Focusing on the things that you keep and not the things that you get rid of, but I definitely focus on the things that I get rid of. And one thing that I've learned just through talking to people who actually are really good housekeepers, namely my 2 grandmothers are amazing. And I always just feel so much more at home whenever I go to their house as opposed to, even my own sometimes, just because it's so messy and cluttered. And I really do try to keep that at a minimum, and sometimes it does work to keep it at a minimum, but I just feel like I fail over and over and over. But one thing that my 93-year-old grandma has told me in the past is that everything has to have a home, and whenever you get it out, just always make sure to put it back in that home, and you'll never have to worry about anything being out of place. And I really do try to do that, but it's not easy. And even just finding that home for items for me isn't all that easy. But times like that where it just works out perfectly, that I find that perfect place that like the coffee cup does have a home now, or the coffee cup, my goodness, thinking about the coffee cup. That the art portfolio that's been under the bed for years and years finally has a home. I know where it is. I know what to put in that corner now. It's a really good feeling. I love it. If anyone does end up watching this and you know about art, leave in the comments when you're drawing like this. I've got a lot of just really soft areas in the coffee cup where it is kind of the shadows come out. But then I have really, really brash highlights just from the sheen of the coffee cup with the lights that I have in the room. And it's really pretty, but I've never been sure how to convey that with pencil. Sometimes I've tried to kind of draw it in gray and then erase to get a little bit of a highlight. I'm not good at just shading and kind of leaving an area completely white. It never quite looks like I want it to. So if you have any tips on doing that, I would love to hear how you guys do that. looks like down here closer to the saucer, which in real life doesn't match at all. It's a white cup with the turquoise saucer. Sorry to smash the illusion here. It does get a little bit darker as it kind of gets closer to that saucer. I'm trying to see if there's a back highlight. No, it looks pretty smooth. Same for down here. If I can kind of smooth out that area a little bit. There. As I begin shading, it always looks a little furry. So when I'm trying to do a smooth surface like a coffee mug, it just gets a little bit difficult, but that's okay. That is part of it. Looks like down below, and actually I have a spoon there, so I need to pay attention to that as well. Alright, where does my spoon begin? Kind of about here. It looks like I might need to bring the saucer out some. I don't know if I'm just not creative right now. I need to try to kind of brainstorm some really good still lifes to do with you guys, but for right now I thought that it would be appropriate to do a coffee mug just because of the name of the channel, which is drawing and drinking coffee. Speaking of which, hold on. Maybe that'll wake up a little bit. Drawing and drinking coffee. I want you all to have your coffee with you. If you drink it, or maybe hot tea, or cold tea, or Diet Coke, or just whatever it is that kind of helps you wake up in the morning. I would love to kind of have a coffee date with you all in the morning. And I think, can you all see that? Yeah, that's not what that looks like. It is, my goodness. I'm just showing y'all my imperfections real quick. Doesn't take much. That's okay then. What makes you beautiful? Yeah. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I think it's a piece of the paper where it was the spiral. Okay. So the direction that I have with the spoon is kind of going like that, and it needs to show out right here. Okay, so that helps. I kind of direct it that way instead of just trying to sketch the shape first, because that looked like a crazy person spoon. Maybe that's appropriate. There we go. That was much better. Not perfect, but if I could draw perfectly, I wouldn't be doing it in my kitchen on a Monday morning. I think it is a holiday today, Columbus Day. I kept thinking of excuses this weekend because I told myself I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start Monday. And then even last night I was like, hey, it's a holiday. Maybe I should wait till Tuesday. Got all scared. Yeah. Okay. Do need to quite a bit bring out this area. One of these days, if I get back into practice, I would love it. My brain just started seeing things the way that I imagine a lot of artists just can see what it's supposed to look like. But maybe everyone kind of struggles like this. Maybe a lot of people. Just with it being something 3D that you're looking at, I don't even think that further. Trying to translate that into that sheet of paper, it's difficult. It's not easy at all. That'll be a little bit closer to what's supposed. There's no supposed, but I really want this to be realistic and I want perspective to be part of it. So hopefully that might be a little bit closer to what I intend for it to look like. Maybe not, but it's not too bad. I would love it if you let me know in the comments what it is that you're working on. There's a lot of learning I need to do, so I would love to kind of know. All right. And this is going to be the tricky one because the saucer has kind of a design built in. The same basic shape, but some are dark, some are light. Why did I pick this saucer? No, this is gonna get force me out of my comfort zone a little bit. My comfort zone. I'm so out of my comfort zone right now. YouTube Live, drawing, which I've not done in years. And I'm in my PJs. The only thing comfortable right now is my PJs. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to work on the same ones for a few different episodes because, and that's okay. That's what I choose to do. And that just shows that if it takes a little while to complete something, just keep at it. I'm really excited about starting this YouTube channel. Just want it to be a community of people who just take a little bit of time out for themselves in the morning. I this weekend thought about, not talking about the fact that I'm a mom, just because not everybody, I can see the reflection in there. Not everybody that's going to be joining us is going to be a mom. I mean, everybody is busy. Everybody has so much on their plate. It's nice just to kind of take some time out just for us, just to kind of work on us. But that's the source of my busyness, I guess. I love being a mom. It's what I've dreamed about. But you do just kind of get lost. And I think it'll be beneficial for them too if I don't completely lose myself so that I can teach them how to be them. We'll see. There's a fly. Okay, so we got the reflection. Then we got this reflection of light that kind of jets out this way. And then some crazy reflections of light right here that are more light than the first light. And come down here. So I need to take that gray a little bit. And take out that band right there. And let's see, over here. A couple more reflections of light. See, that's what I do. I try to do reflections of light. Then I end up making the outline a little bit too dark. And so, yeah, I need to work on that. Y'all are amazing at this. I need all the help I can get. Okay, and this is the reflection of the spoon handle, kind of supposed to be. This coffee cup has a little bit of a design in the middle, just kind of a ring on the top, which I've made way too big and prominent, but that's okay. And then also kind of around the middle a little bit. So we'll work on that too. gosh. I was thinking about trying to get done with, um, a piece or, some version of a piece every time we meet, but I think I'm just gonna take my time. That's the whole point of this, is just taking our time, just enjoying the hour that we have together, or the half hour, or however long we do have together. I will try to make this a planned thing. I don't know if I thought in my head that from 6 to 7 in the morning would be good, just because with my schedule that's the perfect time for me. But goodness, I like sleep. So we'll see. I will. Tomorrow I'm going to have music playing too. I'm having trouble with the awkward silences. I'm the kind of person that if I have people over, I just don't do well with having to think of things to say. So this is definitely a stretch for me. But I'm always the one that I've got The Office playing in the background. Because pretty much anyone that I know likes The Office. So we can't think of something to talk about. We just sit and watch for a while. If I don't know what to say, Dwight knows. See, here's my trouble. What if I just make that darker? Darker than I'm thinking. Because that light is so stinking bright right there. But it just looks so much brighter in the actual image that I'm able to kind of convey on the portrait. Maybe if I just make the shadows darker, the highlights will look like they're lighter. Seriously, if anyone watches this and you have any tips on how to do the highlights when they're extremely white because of the light, let me know. I would love to know how you do it. It's something Bob Ross never did. Hey, if y'all know how to make happy trees better than me, leave in the comments below. How amazing would that be if we could listen to Bob Ross live and paint with him live? I'd do it. I'd wake up for that. Okay, this one's gonna be hard. Lots of little reflections in there. Gonna leave them out for now. Kind of contemplate life a little bit. And then come back to it. I'm just gonna work on more shadows like I do. I'm gonna wipe on the spoon just a little bit. Because that is what that reflection is of. It's so silent. Our house is in a neighborhood with the highway, a few blocks away. Typically, I can't hear the highway, but it is so quiet this morning. I can hear the trucks on the highway right now. Kind of like it though. Oh, the neighbor's AC just turned on. Stuff I hear. Hashtag. All right. So now here. Highlight there. In here. Shadow here. A little bit of highlight and goes into a deep shadow here. So I've never used Facebook. I keep saying Facebook Live. Never used YouTube Live before. I've never done either. So I'm curious if once this is finished, if it just saves to the channel to be able to view later, or if it's just kind of, it's on while it's on and then that's all you get. I don't know. Stuff like that I'll just have to learn. We'll see. Oh, you guys, there was just a mouse. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my goodness. Ew, that's so gross. Oh. I promise I keep my kitchen clean. What time is it? 6:46. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Ew, ew. Oh, that's just my shawl. I don't even know. Oh. Like my hands are shaking, you guys. There was just a mouse on my kitchen floor. my gosh, that's so gross. Like, I can't even right now. That is so disgusting. Do you guys have mice in your house? Ew. I keep hearing noises. Oh. I feel like it's gonna touch my foot or something. Ew. All right. Back to the spoon. Ew, 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 ew. That is so disgusting. There's a highlight here. I'm like freaking out, you guys. My hands are still shaking. I'm excited too. I'm gonna probably do some portraits, and then also just a little bit better still lifes. You know, coffee cup is kind of cliche, but in all honesty, with how crazy life is, I kind of have to kill as many birds with a stone as I can. So this is going to be the banner of the YouTube channel. So that's why I'm doing the coffee theme. It's a little cliche to do a coffee cup, but this is just practice. And you know what? I'm not apologizing for practicing and for trying to get better at something that I want to get better at, and taking time out just to make sure that, you know, I'm running on all cylinders and that I can have some left over to give to my kids, to give to my babies. And so that's gonna be it. But I really would. I'd love to hear from you guys, to hear what you're working on. I mean, if you're working on art, or so many things can be considered art, but the traditional sense of the word art, or what it is that you all love to do. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to just keep on whatever I'm working on. I'm not worried about having to do a new one each time. I mean, I am a little worried because I feel like y'all might get bored with me, but I want to do a good job, and I want to remember how to do this. And that's going to be my way to do it. Just keep at it. Just checking on the mouse. Making sure it's not nearby. I've got my feet in the air. I literally do not have my feet touching the floor. I moved the camera, which moved my cup, which changed my light, so I'm just going with it. Just gonna have to go with it. It's all right. I'm trying to keep these lines a little bit more subtle just because, I mean, they really are just kind of ripples in the cup. But with this harsh pencil, it's hard to do. So that'll just take some more practice on my part. So we had a mouse a couple minutes ago. Now there's a fly. I really promise I try to keep my house clean. It's just wildlife here. I moved my coffee cup. Now everything's different. That's all right. I'm just gonna go with it. We've got some darker reflections that are kind of coming down. So I'm going to just draw those in right here. Got one kind of coming down this way a little bit. And then it looks like under the ripple, we've got one coming down this way. And then it even kind of goes on the ripple slightly. And then over here along the ripple, it's kind of a bigger one. Just kind of a shadow reflection. So I'm going to bring it down here this way. I'm trying my best to get it on the ripple. And then it goes down. I might bring those out slightly before I try to draw the shadow. It's kind of neat when you get to see, you start seeing things, because the coffee cup actually is white. I would call it a white coffee cup. But when you really get down to it, I mean, even there's not a whole lot that's true white. The reflections of the lights in the coffee cup are true white. And that's going to be a little bit difficult to convey just because the paper itself is kind of an off-white if you're really getting technical. And so the very lightest that I can do is the shade of the paper, just with the utensils that I have, is the shade of the paper, which is a lot darker than the actual light reflected onto the coffee cup. So it just kind of, it just makes it interesting when you really start to see what you're drawing and see the colors that you have to work with. You're pretty limited, but that's kind of what makes it fun. You just play with it and experiment and just kind of see different ways to convey that. And that's exactly why I'm doing this, because I'm so out of practice. I want to get good at this for the first time, as good as I used to be, which probably compared to many, many, many people isn't all that great, but maybe I can get better. I'm just bringing that shadow. In some portraits I've done, I've even taken a piece of cloth or something, because with this pencil that I like to use, it does make very smooth shading kind of difficult. There are a lot of lines. If you look closely, it's made up of a lot of lines just because it's difficult to get a really smooth shade with a mechanical pencil, because the lead is so just so small, which I like to be able to get into grooves. So before, I've actually used cloth to be able just to kind of almost smear the shading. I think this time, sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a lazy tactic on my part. So I think this time I'm going to try my best just to get that smooth, just by taking my time and going over it over and over, different directions, just to kind of get the look that I'm going for. So it might take quite a few hours to get in there and really get the look I'm looking for, but I've got the time. We'll split it up. We'll do it for a few more minutes this morning. Actually, it looks like it is 6:59. So I told myself that I was going to do this from 6 until 7 this morning. And if you feel like coming back and meeting with me in the morning, we'll have coffee again and continue this drawing. And if there's anything that you would like to work on, a drawing or any type of art, bring your coffee, bring whatever you need to work with, just to kind of reflect on yourself. And I will see you bright and early. Thank you so much for joining me.